So the guy who writes the articles that ends your career, they reward him by killing him?
Sir, I don't know.
When you spoke with him, were you truthful in your interview?
Not entirely, no.
Okay. So you believe because you were under surveillance, what? That they knew the type of shoes you were wearing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, the DNA lab's in on it too?
I think it's weird that maybe it's not weird. Obviously, you've got to try to minimize the concern that I have with this and try to make me seem like I'm crazy for it.
Welcome back to the court bench. Today, we're looking into the sensational trial of Robert Tejas, a former Clark County public administrator in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tejas stood accused of the brutal murder of veteran investigative journalist Jeff German, who worked for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The charges? First-degree murder with a deadly weapon against a victim 60 years of age or older. German had published a series of scathing articles exposing Tejas' alleged misconduct in office, including a hostile work environment and an inappropriate romantic relationship, all of which Tejas vehemently denied. Prosecutors argued that Tejas, fueled by revenge and a ruined career, ambushed and stabbed German to death on September 2, 2022. We'll examine this cross-examination as the prosecutor, Christopher Hamner, systematically dismantles Tejas' elaborate and often far-fetched defense piece by piece. We'll start by hearing about the killer's car and its similarities to Tejas' car.
So, you see that picture right here of the rims?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, do you see, if we're talking like clock positions, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you know what I'm talking about, if I'm referring to that?
12 o'clock is north?
Yes. So 12 o'clock is
Or
totally to the top, and then you've got 6 o'clock is to the bottom. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So look at this bottom right-hand picture. Isn't it true that when you look at the front wheel, the spokes on this wheel are not all the same size, correct?
Right.
They alternate in thickness, correct?
Correct.
At the 12 o'clock position, it's a narrow spoke, right?
Yes, sir.
And then the next two on either side of it widen out, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And in the 6 o'clock position, that's a fat, wide spoke, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's surrounded by two narrow spokes, isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it totals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different spokes, isn't that right? That's your car, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
There's no doubt about it, is it?
No, I don't believe so.
That is the car that you don't normally drive, isn't that right? Because you drive a BMW.
Right. I drive it occasionally to make sure that the battery doesn't die.
Right. Let's look at your wheels, because your testimony was, my rims are different. Let's look, no, sir, I'm question pending. Let's look at the front tire. You see the front tire?
Yes, sir.
The one closest to the 12 o'clock position is thick, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
The one directly opposite that, closest to the 6 o'clock position, is narrow, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Just like the car in the video, isn't that correct?
It has the same type of rims, yes.
It does, but that's not what you just told that jury on direct examination. You said you looked at a tweet from General Bob Custer, and you felt, oh gosh, my rims are different. Remember you told them that?
Yes, because...
You relied on some person in the Twitterverse named General Bob Custer to give you peace of mind about whether or not your car matches the killer's car.
Yes.
So, now looking at your rims, because let's look at them. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spokes on that wheel, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just like the killer's car.
Similar
Right?
similar to the killer's car, yes,
Not
sir.
similar, exactly like it, correct?
But they're not the same rims.
No. Sir, then let's take it this way. The 12 o'clock position is a fat, wide spoke, correct?
Yes, sir.
The 6 o'clock position is arrow, correct?
Yes.
When we looked at the photograph of the killer's car, it had that same pattern, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
This moment is where the prosecutor delivers a devastating blow using forensics evidence. The meticulous comparison of the car's wheel spokes demonstrate the power of circumstantial evidence. The prosecutor is cornering Tejas, who previously claimed that his car was different based on vague online information. This directly attacks Tejas' honesty and attempts to mislead the jury invoking the principle of consciousness of guilt. In Nevada, as in most jurisdictions, such detailed circumstantial evidence can be highly persuasive in proving identity. We'll now hear about another smoking gun of physical evidence from the prosecution and an elaborate explanation to dispute it from Mr. Tejas.
You were here yesterday and you talked for approximately 2 hours. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
And then you came here this morning and you talked for another hour or so, correct?
Yes, sir.
There's one thing I didn't hear you mention. The DNA. I'd like to talk about that with you. You're not disputing that your DNA is underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay. But you've heard the testimony. It's there, correct?
I don't know if it was there or at what point it might have gotten there, sir.
Okay. I'm not asking you how it got there. Are you really denying that your DNA is underneath the fingernails?
Without knowing the truth, yes, I am.
Okay, well, you've heard witnesses testify.
Right.
So the DNA lab's in on it too?
I don't know. I don't know at what point. I don't know what point this sample was collected.
Sir, please tell this jury, how in the world does your DNA get underneath Mr. Gehrman's fingernails?
I don't know because I did not kill Mr. Gehrman.
You have no idea how it could have gotten underneath your fingernails, correct?
Under my fingernails?
I'm sorry, under his fingernails, correct?
I don't know that it ever was, sir.
They took a look underneath your couch. Publishing 224. That's your couch, right?
That is my couch.
And underneath your couch is a shoe and a chopped up shoe, right?
Right.
Okay. That's the gray Nike, correct?
Pure so, yes, sir.
Publishing 228. That's what it looks like, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's gray in color, correct?
Yes.
It is a Nike brand, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has a black swoosh, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has 4 horizontal or at least vertical bars in the middle of that shoe, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You would agree with me. That's the shoe that the killer was wearing, correct?
I don't know that that's the case.
You don't know? Well, it sure looks a heck of a lot like it, right?
Yes, it could be the same model, but it could be a different size.
Sure. Let's just look at it.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree that it's the same model.
Right. It's the exact same type of shoe, right?
Right.
We'll get there because they're part of it too, correct?
So they paid Detective Jeffy, yes.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to get to all that in a second.
Of course, absolutely, sir.
So here's the thing. Are the shoes underneath the sofa of your house, are those actually your shoes?
That I don't know for sure. I do have similar ones, but again, I have not,
It's the same shoe, isn't it?
It is potentially the same shoe as the one, yes.
Well, sir,
Mhm.
You're not doubting that this is a photograph of shoes that belong to you, correct?
Right.
Okay.
This is me.
So this wasn't planted evidence, right?
The picture of the shoe, no.
Okay, great. And you were claiming ownership over that shoe, right?
Right.
So it's gray in color, right?
Mhm.
It's got the black Nike swoosh, correct?
Right.
It's got the 4 black horizontal bars in it, right?
Right.
And you would agree with me when you wore those shoes, you probably left your DNA behind there in those shoes, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying now that it's just a pure coincidence that the exact same type of shoe sitting underneath your couch in your house with your DNA on it?
Yes, sir.
So
and
we're
again,
talking,
surveillance started at 8:16.
Right? No. But this image is in your phone, right?
This particular image, I'm sure I've likely texted it to my wife to say, "Hey, I'm rock climbing indoors."
So here's the thing. So you're saying, okay. So you believe because you were under surveillance, that they knew the type of shoes you were wearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You think there's a way that someone could have found the contents of your phone prior to the murder?
We heard earlier about the fact that someone can actually hack phones, yes. And whether it was that they found it that way or by surveillance?
We heard about the hack. It was just a question asked by your attorney. No witness ever testified that your phone was hacked, correct?
But you asked if there was only one means, and
Okay.
no, there's more than one means, sir.
Okay. Sir, let's just be clear about one thing. You have had possession of your phone through the entire month of August of 2022, correct? Or are we denying that? Or is that one you're at least acknowledging because of the cooking thing?
No, my blood was on those scissors.
Okay, so Metro got that one right.
Yes.
That wasn't a frame job.
No, well, I do think that they used some of the DNA from that, but
But before we move on, I gotta ask you this too.
Would you be allowed to answer the question before
Okay,
the next question, please?
sir, I got a question for you. If the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department wanted to frame you, why didn't they put the murder weapon in your house?
I think that maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I mean,
Great question, because if the murder weapon that had Gehrman's DNA in was inside your house, wouldn't that be an even better case?
yeah, but at the same time, I think
But it's not there, is it?
no.
No, it's not. Even though, according to you, they control everything, they don't put the murder weapon on you?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense?
I think it does.
Okay. How about this? If Compass Realty wants to kill you, why don't they encourage Metro like, we'd really like you to put the murder weapon in there? Why didn't they do something like that?
I don't know.
That seems really odd that the most significant thing is not in your house, correct?
I think what's odd is that 5 days after the murder, that supposedly there was a shoe
So the answer
and
to my
also a
question-
hat in my house.
So the answer to my question, the most significant piece of evidence, the murder weapon, is not in your house despite your theory you've been framed. That's the most notable thing, by far the most notable thing on the killer's person.
It's either the hat or the shirt.
It's the shirt, right?
Mhm.
And that shirt is not in your house, is it?
No, I couldn't speak to that. All I can tell
Doesn't
you is,
that sound not very professional if they're trying to set you up?
I don't know, maybe for plausibility's sake, they put half the
Oh,
stuff
they
in
want to
there. I'm
dial
not
it
sure.
back.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's another thing. Why don't they cover your car in Gehrman's DNA? Why don't they do that?
Because they didn't have access to the car until the day that Mr. Mogg took photos.
But they have, I mean, they control everything. They take it to their CSI garage and they rub it full of DNA. Why is there no DNA of Gehrman in your car? And if they want to frame you, why isn't it there? Do you have an answer for that?
Sir, I don't know.
Isn't it true? I think we've heard from both your expert and Detective Jappy that there was no outgoing messages from your phone between 8:48 a.m. and 2:05 p.m., correct?
Right.
Okay. So, sir, I want to now talk to you about this conspiracy a little bit. Is Rita Reed in the conspiracy?
Well, she certainly took money from Compass Realty and Adam Fenn.
So the answer is she conspired to murder Jeff Gehrman?
I don't know to what extent she had knowledge of anything other than to make sure that I got taken down.
Taken down. So she conspired to have you framed for the murder of Jeff Gehrman.
I don't know that she was privy to that particular part of.
So she's not part of the conspiracy. to
I
murder
can't.
Jeff.
I think it's weird that you're. I mean, maybe it's not weird. Obviously, you've got to try to minimize the concern that I have with this and try to make me seem like I'm crazy for it. But
I'm
there's
just-
the evidence to back up what has been occurring. So that is what it is, sir.
Okay, so let's focus on my question. Can we rule out?
I don't know that we can either way, sir.
Okay, so it's possible she's part of it.
I would be surprised, but I couldn't rule it out.
Okay, so it's possible.
Anything is possible.
Okay.
I would think that would be likely. Yes.
Okay, likely. Okay. And Compass Realty as a business as a whole is part of this as well, to kill Mr. Gehrman, correct?
Again, if you recall that the best way to take me down would be to frame me for Mr. Gehrman's murder. And so, yes, I do believe that.
And I want to write that down. You said the best way to take me out is to frame you for killing Gehrman, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that's it.
Absolutely. I was, yes.
You fought them at every turn, correct?
Absolutely.
You thought what they were doing was improper, correct?
I think I proved that.
Okay, you thought that so much of their wrongdoing that you actually went to the police about it, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were, till the moment that you were stopped working in that office, you fought against Compass Realty, correct?
I believe when that order was entered on August 30th, that shows that. Absolutely.
And the issue for Compass Realty is because you were the public administrator, correct?
Right.
You stood in their way from doing the things that they wanted to do in terms of independent administrators. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And in fact, again, that order was going to allow me to dig into them and actually prove without a doubt that Detective Jaffe was just ignoring criminal conduct, sir. $10,000.
So they thought, and let me get this straight. This is, in your opinion, the things that they were doing cost in the millions. Is that right?
Absolutely.
This is $1 million scheme that they're running, correct?
Mhm.
And all they could muster to fund an opponent was 10 grand?
No, campaign laws prohibit anything over $10,000.
This is another logical fallacy attack on Tejas' conspiracy theory. The prosecutor highlights the discrepancy between Tejas' claim of a multi-million-dollar scheme being impeded by him and the supposed conspirators only contributing a paltry $10,000 to his opponent's campaign. This makes Tejas' story seem disproportionate and unbelievable. It suggests that if the stakes were truly millions, the effort and resources dedicated to taking him down would be far greater than what he describes. The prosecutor is challenging the common sense of the jury, making Tejas' motive for blaming others seem weak and unfounded. Let's hear how Tejas' ideas of conspiracy can explain this away.
So did any other independent employees of Compass Realty shell out money for Rita?
So there's, again, Adam Fenn and also
How
Thomas
much?
Realty.
How much?
$5,000 each. And so, that's all that they needed in order to...
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you have described yourself as the sole impediment for their multi-million-dollar scheme, and the only thing that they could come up with financially to stop you is just $10,000?
No, sir.
Okay. That's your C&Es that you submitted. That's all we have, right? It's like 10 grand.
That's 10 grand on a campaign contribution report.
Right,
That is not all the money that they've given to anybody to, again, to engage in this
Are
activity.
you speculating at this point?
Ask if you're allowed to answer the
Okay,
question.
please finish the question.
Again, without being able to firsthand investigate, because Mr.
10 grand, not that much, correct?
In the world of county races, it's the maximum contributions for these two guys, or these two entities,
For
but
those two guys, but listen, if we're talking about, like, you know how politics works. If there are businesses or special interests, they pool their money together behind a candidate, right? You don't know that, but you were.
it depends on
running
the
for
it
political
depends on the
office and you don't know
situation.
that?
It depends on the situation.
Sir, are you going to sit here and tell this jury you've run for political office twice and you don't know that businesses or special interests pool their money together to back a candidate they really want? Are you really telling them that?
And again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of that because I've never had that happen for me.
Right.
Now, if you're talking about political action committees, I don't know, what do you, PACs?
Look, the bottom line is, all they donated was 10 grand.
And I still kept fighting them, yes.
No, sir, you were a lame duck as of September 2nd, 2022. Isn't that right?
But I still continue to fight Compass Realty.
That's not my question. You're out of a job in that you're not an impediment as of January 1st. Isn't that right?
As of January 1st, but I was right then. Because if they'd killed me, would that have stopped Nevada Real Estate Division from investigating them? No. If they killed me, would anybody have felt the duty to continue my work because I was actually doing this? I think so. So murdering me would have not discredited me. It would not have put me in a position where all the work that I was doing just got left by the wayside. When you've taken into account the fact that months earlier we had this public feud, it's a pretty convenient way to do this.
So the guy who writes the articles that ends your career, they reward him by killing him? Rita and Alicia are part of the conspiracy that loop in Jeff Garriman, and they're in cahoots with Compass. So they're like, you know what? Thanks, Jeff, but you got to go? That's what you're suggesting?
And like I said, I don't know that they knew about that particular aspect of the conspiracy, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I would certainly think that they wouldn't, because you're right. I can't imagine that they would know and be okay with that, sir.
So you agreed to do a sit-down interview on May 11th of 2022 with Jeff Garriman, correct?
Yes, sir.
Why did you agree to do this interview?
Because I wanted to dispel the notion that, there was any concern.
You were being accused of a series of things, including creating emotional stress on your employees, correct?
Right.
Bullying
Right.
and engaging in an inappropriate relationship, correct?
Right.
Okay. When you sat down to do this interview, did you want to get the truth out?
To a certain extent, yes, but when it came to the office issues, yes, sir.
Okay. When you sat down, when you spoke with him, were you truthful in your interview?
Not entirely, no.
Okay. What were you untruthful about?
About the extent of the relationship with me and Roberta Lee Kennett.
Okay. What was different? What did you say versus the truth?
I said that, she and I had no affair, but, regrettably, we did have, and when I say regrettably, I think we both regret the mistake, but we had a romantic affair with each other. I didn't think that was the public's business.
That's not my question. My question
Yes,
is...
I did lie regarding that particular issue, yes.
Now, you would agree with me, at the moment you sat down for that interview, you were in the throngs of a re-election campaign, correct?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with me that the public administration job was something very important to you.
I mean, sure, yes. Obviously, again, it was important at the time, yes.
Well, listen, you told us a little bit about your story, right? You put yourself through law school, you opened up a law firm, you were elected to this job. You were proud of the work you were doing at the PA's office, correct?
It absolutely was.
Okay, and you wanted to remain in that job, correct?
They certainly did.
Okay. And you would agree with me that if you had been entirely truthful, that may not have helped your election prospects. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I was shocked at, what ended up coming out versus what we had discussed. Yes, sir.
Were you devastated?
I don't know if I'm not sure, that I ever, consider myself devastated on anything.
I told you about how much this has all impacted me. You heard from employees who were being harassed by these people. Provided you proof, I'm assuming that's proof, correct? It says prove, it's a typo.
It might have auto-corrected and, yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Provided you proof that I was doing my best to actually smooth things over after I had to make hard decisions. So the answer to my question is yes, you held Mr. Gehrman responsible because he chose to write this article in this particular way.
If I had to hold anyone responsible in any sense, I guess the context that you're saying, certainly not enough to murder him. Honestly, yes.
Character assassination, correct?
Yes.
And he's the one who chose it to write it that way, correct?
Correct.
You probably end up winning that primary.
Probably yes.
Okay. But everything that you work for is gone because of a couple of articles that say things that you don't think are really true, correct? Especially about the work stuff, right?
It wasn't the articles per se. It was obviously Rita and Alicia.
Who got Jeff Gehrman into the fold to publicly tear you down.
They did, yes.
And he agreed to do it.
Yeah.
Because the articles were damaging, correct?
They were damaging, yes.
Professionally and personally.
Primarily professionally, because obviously I had to figure out something else to do for work, which, again, I'm a lawyer, so I guess, rehang my shingle if I can, do whatever I can.
I'm sorry. For me, this may have a long-term impact. I have people that no longer talk to me. Also, I'm worried in this digital age that the articles could potentially follow me around for years to come. I'm actually worried I might not have any good employment prospects after this, correct?
Yes.
And it just so happens that you were then informed that Gehrman is snooping around looking to potentially do another article, correct?
Yep.
And you're telling Nicole in confidence that you believe your future employment is jeopardized because of the articles, right?
Yes, but the damage was already done. So it's not, whether he wrote another article, he wrote 10 more articles, it was irrelevant at this point.
Well, apparently you don't say that, though, in your email. You don't say in that text message. You don't say, but the damage is already done, do you? You don't say that in that message, correct?
Well, it says that the articles are going to have an impact, and you would think that would refer to previously published articles. So I think that it's assumed that, it's done is done. So
Sir,
if he goes on and does 10 more articles, same net effect, really.
Right. Sir, to go back to my question, Isn't it true you never use the words, the damage is already done, correct?
Not in this particular message, no.
Right. And you state, also, I'm worried in this digital age that the articles could potentially follow me around for years to come. I'm actually worried I might not have any good employment prospects after this, correct?
I'd say it'd be better than if I had actually murdered Mr. Gehrman.
So, sir, we're going to go back to my question. Isn't that what you wrote in the text message?
Yes.
Sir, you maintained that on the morning, September 2nd, 2022, you were at home, correct?
Right, except for when I went to take a walk.
You deny going over to 7216 Bronx Circle, correct?
Yes.
That is your wife's Apple Watch, correct?
I mean, it's got a picture of my daughter on it, so I'd have to assume that it is.
No. That's the same picture you just told us about from your text messages, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's at 10:35, correct?
Yes.
It says Friday, correct?
Yes.
It also says Rob up in the corner, correct?
Yes.
I'm now publishing 380. Please read to this jury, what does it say underneath that photograph?
It says, where are you?
Where are you? You told us you were at home.
I did not. I said, actually, when I got the messages, I was still on my walk.
Sir, is it your testimony that you were at home on the day in that morning?
Not the entire morning, no. And
Okay.
I said that to you,
And
sir.
let me ask you this question. That message isn't on your phone, is it?
It isn't. I mean,
The answer is
if
no,
it was
it's not
sent,
on your-
if
it's
it
not
was
on
sent,
your
it
phone.
should have been.
One at
But
a time, one at a
Sir?
time, please.
Yes or no? That message isn't on your phone.
why it isn't, I wouldn't know because it
I didn't
apparently it's
ask
not.
you why.
It's not on my wife's phone either.
Sir, I didn't ask you why. I asked you a yes or no question. That message is not on your phone, correct?
From what you showed me, it is not.
And you were in possession of your phone on that day, correct?
On that day, yes.
And you, as the owner of the phone, have the ability to save messages and delete messages, correct?
Yes.
Because the person who holds the phone controls the information, correct?
At that moment, yes.
Right. And she's asking, where are you? Right?
Yes.
At that same time, at 10:30 in the morning, we've seen video surveillance of a car that you say looks just like mine driving in Mr. Gehrman's neighborhood, correct? So this message, if you could, please tell me, what is the time? Oh, it's kind of cut up a little bit. What time is that message sent?
At 10:36 a.m.
Okay, on September the 2nd, is that
Correct.
right? Let me have this other little blurb. It doesn't actually have anything there, but what is the time on that?
10:36.
I have no further questions for this witness.
And that is how the prosecutor, Christopher Hamner, meticulously dismantled Robert Tejas' defense, picture by picture, timestamp by timestamp. The case concluded with the jury finding Robert Tejas guilty of first-degree murder with a deadly weapon against a victim 60 years of age or older in August 2024. In October 2024, District Judge Michelle Levitt sentenced Tejas to life in prison. While the jury had recommended parole eligibility after 20 years, Judge Levitt imposed sentencing enhancements for the use of a deadly weapon, the victim being over 60, and the murder being committed by means of lying in wait. This resulted in a total sentence of at least 28 years to life, meaning Tejas will not be eligible for parole for a minimum of 26 years, accounting for time already served. Throughout the trial, Tejas continued to maintain his innocence, claiming he was framed by a vast conspiracy. However, the overwhelming evidence, from his DNA under Gehrman's fingernails to matching shoes found cut up in his home and extensive phone data showing his surveillance of Gehrman's residence, all ultimately persuaded the jury. Tejas' defense attorney has indicated an intent to appeal the conviction. But for now, this is all we know. Thank you for watching. Comment down below your thoughts on this case. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to get the latest from our channel.